If you dream it, you can build it, you can actually make something big. I'm Ken Rakowski, it's Business Rockstars. We're here to take your passion and turn it into something that's real and sustainable by bringing you rock stars that are making it happen. And we are joined by an actual real rock star. He's been in great bands like Supertramp and Pink Floyd. Scott Page is joining us. Scott, real quick, it's not just about bands. You're also a hardcore entrepreneur.
Big time entrepreneur. Yeah, I actually love the world of entrepreneurship. You know what's so great about it? It keeps you young.
Keeps you young.
Keeps you young because there's always something new happening, and I just really love staying on top of what's happening in the world. Yep.
Now, you've done, of course, the gigantic rock and roll tours. You've also had a publicly traded company.
Yep, that's true. Yep. I actually launched that with Mr. Bob Ezrin, who produced Pink Floyd. It was a company called Seventh Level, and we built all kinds of educational games and really kind of early in the tech space. Yep.
Now, everything is ready to be disrupted in some ways.
Absolutely.
Right? Uber's disrupting travel, Airbnb's disrupting hotels. You're saying the music industry needs to be disrupted, don't you?
Oh, yeah, there's no question. I mean, I think if we look at it, most artists today, or through the years, it's always been very difficult business. But right now, with music is virtually free. I mean, that's the society. The kids are growing up. They don't want to pay for any music. That's a free. So there needs to be new ways for artists to make money. Now, the good news is that there's more opportunities now than there ever was for artists, mainly because they have these devices, which is
mobile devices.
The mobile device is directly connected to their customer or their fan. So the real question is how do I nurture that fan, bring them through a conversion funnel to actually generate some revenue? So there's a whole new way about doing this, and I'm very excited about this opportunity to help artists.
It sounds like you just described a .com. I mean, something that's a mobile platform. How are you going to apply mobile technology and what they're doing on the web to what artists are doing?
Well, the main thing is the artist has always been in a business of having to find somebody to basically get them in front of audience. Well, today we have all the tools and the technology. It's not so much about having to own their own platform. There's so many platforms out there that give them the opportunity to engage.
But they don't know where to look, where to find, how to implement. This is where you're actually bringing this new concept together. What's it called?
It's called Ignited Artist.
Ignited Artist. What exactly is Ignited Artist?
Ignited Artist is an artist accelerator startup company that's basically modeled very similar to how Y Combinator, 500 Startups. I don't know if you're familiar with those out there. Those are those startup incubators where they find an artist or find an entrepreneur. If you have an idea, you submit it to the incubator. It's usually people that have been very successful in the business to come in and help and mentor you. And as they go through it, you build your minimal viable product. If they like it, they fund it. And you've seen companies like Uber came out of there. Let's see, Airbnb came out of a Y Combinator. So we see this opportunity to do the same thing with artists, because artists finally have an opportunity. And I'm not talking about the top artists. There's always that 1%, the ones that are doing record labels. But there's this new, what we call the rise of the artist middle class, which is happening right now, where you can basically find your artist, build an audience, and then monetize that audience. The problem artists have is they don't know how to take the techniques of moving people through a conversion funnel. How do I build the relationship to the point where I can actually start charging for what I do?
I know you're using this word conversion funnel. I'd rather simplify it real fast, okay? An artist, if it's done right, they are a business.
Correct.
Right? And a business has to, of course, make a profit.
Correct.
But it also has to have growth.
Absolutely.
It has to have both.
Yes.
And in order to do that, you have to find a way to take your customer, which is their fans, right, and drive them through a process to where they're supporting the artist and they continue to support the artist, growing and moving forward.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct. And that's very similar to a lot of business. I mean, this is nothing new to other businesses.
But that's
standard.
the funnel is what you're talking about.
Yes, exactly. That's
that process. So you as the business, Ignited Artist, the problem you're solving is this. We're going to teach artists to think more like entrepreneurs.
Yes, and actually build their own business.
I like that.
So what we do is, again, we've just like similar to the incubators out there, we crowdsource, we look for artists, they submit, they go to our website, they submit who they are.
That's how they sign up.
That's how they sign up. They fill out a criteria. It comes up. We have a board of top mentors from producers to artists to business people. We look at these artists. If we think that they're really have the kind of leadership and what it takes to be an independent business, then we invite them to be part of our accelerator.
That's the key. You invite them.
Yes.
So you're narrating the process.
Yeah.
You're also looking at different TV shows that we all watch out there. And we know big stars come out of a lot of these TV shows. And the shows would be what?
Shark Tank.
Shark Tank.
There's a business, very
Huge.
big business. The Apprentice.
The Apprentice.
Which is great because that's tasked. You throw
Very
task in.
tasked.
And then The Voice.
The
which
Voice.
is- which is
Mentoring.
Mentoring, right,
And
exactly.
you apply all three and you wrap it around a real business container. Your output is an artist or a band that really thinks like a lean startup, that thinks like an Uber to launch and to grow. No one's done this before. Why not?
You know, it's interesting if you type in our music accelerators, nothing comes up, which is unbelievable if you think about when you type into Google.
Seriously.
So we see this opportunity. I mean, I believe, being an artist myself and having a business sense, that somebody's going to come along and kind of be the Steve Jobs of this area and help disrupt it and figure out how to help artists build their own business.
Right.
So our goal as a company is we're going to launch 100 startup music artists in the next 2.5 to 3 years.
Okay, that's a pretty audacious task.
It's a big task, yes, but it's very doable.
It's hard to understand that because, by the way, we're with Scott Page, who, of course, is with Ignited Artists. If you look at a record label saying that, we could possibly understand that.
Yeah.
But the record label and what you're doing are very, very different.
Yeah, we're the unlabel.
The unlabeled.
We're the unlabeled because, first of all, we never liked the business models that the record labels had for most artists. You know, it's never been very good. I don't know if you've ever seen Artifact, the 30 Seconds to Mars documentary about their kind of fight with EMI Records. He expels how the record business works. So it's not been a great model for artists ever, you know, even though we have people complaining about the new model.
Well, there's only a few people that have come out of the record label side very successful.
Yeah.
It's probably 1% of 1%.
Yeah.
What you're saying is this: we're not going to be our label. We're going to be a new type of, let's say, label that really puts the artist at the center.
Yeah, what we do is, again, once they go through the program and we like them, then we fund them, but we set up their own business, which is a full cap table. You know, it's
Like a
full
business.
just like a business. They can take shares. They got preferred and common stock, all of that, and their own business. And then we, as Ignited Artists, we're the data analytics, growth hacking, all the technical infrastructure, and everything that an artist needs. So we serve part of the what a label would do, but we build these businesses. That way, I can scale because I can have hundreds of artist-owned businesses that could be running themselves, and basically that's the idea.
Scott, sounds great. It sounds amazing. People want to find out more. Where do they go?
Ignited.network, and that's ignited.network, no.com. Go there, check it out, and thanks, Ken, for having me on your show, brother.
Scott Page, watch how the unlabel takes on everything moving forward. I'm Ken Rakowski, and you've been listening to Business Rockstars.